The reason we get up and do the work that we do during the day is so that each baby who's born in Wyoming has the opportunity to have their hearing screened, hearing loss found, and negative effects of that hearing loss reduced or eliminated completely.
There is a lot of hope, and particularly in a newborn where the newborn's brain is so early, and it's still early in its developmental stages, that interventions at this point in time will reap great benefits and great rewards.
Your best success with your child is to get detected as a newborn. Without that, you have no idea, where your child is at on the hearing scale.
Each year, approximately 12,000 newborns in the United States are identified with hearing loss, making it the most frequently occurring birth defect. For Wyoming parents caught unprepared for such news, the Wyoming Early Hearing Detection and Intervention Program offers direction and guidance. Because in Wyoming, every newborn deserves the same opportunity for success. So while infant hearing loss may seem overwhelming, it does not have to be an insurmountable challenge. It is not too great to overcome.
Rachel's our first child, and she was born in '99. Since she was our first child, we didn't have any experience with children. So when she went to the hospital, and she actually failed the first infant screening, and they told us to come back in 10 days, and we did, and she failed it again. We found out then that she had bilateral profound hearing loss.
Because language acquisition begins at birth, a child's early years provide a window of opportunity to lay down the foundation for language skills. These first 3 years in a child's life are essential to healthy brain development and future reading success. But the timing of intervention is critical. Wait too long and those things that feel natural to most of us risk feeling like a considerable struggle, even for things as simple as making friends. Taking action before a baby with hearing loss is 6 months old, instead of waiting until after the 6-month mark, can make an enormous difference in how your baby moves throughout the world. By simply beginning early, it becomes much easier for your child to not only eventually learn language and to read and write and perform in school, but also to communicate, meet people, and form relationships.
The data that I've seen indicates that roughly 3 in every 1,000 births, those children have a hearing deficit or hearing loss. And we know that hearing loss is so closely associated with psychosocial development, with educational goals, educational improvement, how well you do in life. And so it's really important that we pick up these hearing losses early and really apply the very successful interventions that we have available now to this group of kids so that they can be successful in life.
The evidence for the importance of newborn hearing screening was so compelling that Wyoming passed legislation requiring hospitals to screen all newborns for hearing loss in 1999. These measures remain in effect today, and since then, Wyoming has screened 98% of their newborns for hearing loss prior to discharge from the birthing hospital. Infants in Wyoming who do not pass the hearing screen at birth must return to the birthing hospital for rescreening within 7 to 10 days of their first failed screening.
I think I can actually remember Nancy Pajak called us at home and kind of confirmed with us that we were on the right track, that we were following up with a confirmed diagnosis, and at that time informed us kind of what to expect next, because as a new parent you have no idea. And she told us about the Early Childhood Center and them calling us to set up an individual family service plan and what that entailed, because at that point as new parents we had no idea what an IFSP was. And so she explained some of those things to kind of get us on the right track of where to go next, because you're kind of lost at that time. Within a month we had an IFSP done, the hearing aids by 2 months of age, and we're growing, had speech therapy by 2 months, and all the services in place, and it's because of the early detection.
Should an infant fail a hearing rescreen, it becomes vital to get a complete picture of that infant's hearing. You should contact either your child's primary care physician, birthing hospital nursing staff, or the Wyoming EHDI program for help in scheduling an age-appropriate diagnostic evaluation with an experienced pediatric and/or infant audiology professional as soon as possible. These evaluations are available within Wyoming and at specific sites in bordering states and are necessary in determining your newborn's hearing status.
The EHDI process is made up of nurses, doctors, speech-language therapists, teachers, neighbors, other parents, audiologists. The EHDI network consists of so many different individuals within the state who form a network that just blankets the states and are always available to parents should they have questions, comments, concerns, needing someone else to visit with. What's the next step? Where do I go from here? Just ask, and hopefully the answer will be available to you probably right within your own community.
Early intervention is done in collaboration with a family via an individualized family service plan and is designed around the family's preferences. In each Wyoming community, child development centers are available to offer early intervention services to families at a time and place convenient to them. The IFSP team develops a course of action that reflects the family's goals and the child's needs. The trained professionals at these centers provide each family with guidance to maximize every opportunity for the child to succeed. But in order to truly capitalize on the lifelong benefits offered through individualized family service plans, taking action before 6 months of age becomes critical.
For infants and toddlers, we have an individualized family service plan, and for the 3 to 5 year olds, we have an individualized education plan. A team of professionals and the family get together and look at the child's strengths and their needs, and the family's strengths and the family's needs. And together they develop a plan to provide the services for the child and the family.
What about the children with late onset hearing loss, a condition that can develop after birth, during infancy, as a toddler, or a preschooler, or even as a school-aged child? Wyoming's EHDI program continues its partnership with child development centers across Wyoming to provide hearing screens to identify late onset hearing loss and, when necessary, to provide intervention programs free of charge for children up through the age of 5. Children who fail late onset hearing screening should be referred to their primary care physician or their audiologist for further evaluation. Since hearing loss can occur at any time, children in Wyoming should have their hearing screened at birth and then annually through the preschool years.
She's in the regular classroom and she does great. She tested at age level or advanced in all of her subjects, and we're very happy with how she's done. And I truly believe it's because of the early detection and the early intervention that she's done so well.
The important thing is to know how important hearing is to a child's growth and development. And the second thing that I believe is important is that it can be detected early. And the third thing that I think is important is that the interventions out there are very sophisticated now and can be applied, and it can make a huge difference in your child's life.
The goal of Wyoming's EHDI program is to improve outcomes for children with hearing loss. In partnership with a dedicated network of parents, child care centers, medical centers, schools, and professionals, EHDI staff members work to ensure that hearing loss in infants, toddlers, preschoolers, and school-aged children is identified as early as possible and with appropriate follow-up and intervention. It is not for lack of love or care that a hearing loss occurs, but it is for love and care that it is identified and appropriately managed. We act because it's medically and educationally appropriate. We also act because it's the right thing to do and because we want to see every child have a chance to succeed. Sometimes inspiration doesn't come from words, it comes from deeds. And there is nothing more inspiring than seeing Wyoming work together to make a difference in a child's life. This is what Wyoming's Early Hearing Detection and Intervention Program is all about.